Hi, this is Malva, and we're continuing with the story of redemption, chapter 1, and this is part 2. The word of the Son was to be obeyed as readily as the word of the Father. His Son he had invested with authority to command the heavenly host. Especially was his Son to work in union with himself in the anticipated creation of the earth and every living thing that should exist upon the earth. His Son would carry out his will and his purposes, but would do nothing of himself alone. The Father's will would be fulfilled in him. Lucifer was envious and jealous of Jesus Christ. Yet, when all the angels bowed to Jesus to acknowledge his supremacy and high authority and rightful rule, he bowed with them. But his heart was filled with envy and hatred. Christ had been taken into the special counsel of God in regard to his plans, while Lucifer was unacquainted with them. He did not understand, neither was he permitted to know the purposes of God. Okay, just another aside here. We're reading again that Lucifer was jealous of Jesus, all right? And when Jesus went in with the Father and the Holy Spirit to talk about creation of this world, our earth, and every living thing that exists here, Lucifer was not part of that council. And can anyone guess why? He wasn't God. Plain and simple. He was not God. So since God is the creator of every living being, okay, Lucifer was not privy to any plans God had for anything or anyone. But for some reason, he forgot that he was a created being. Angel or no angel, he was not God. Okay? So he was not allowed to know the purposes of God. But Christ was acknowledged sovereign of heaven. His power and authority to be the same as that of God himself. And I wanted to add something here. Jesus had always been God. Jesus had always had the authority. The Father was just acknowledging it for everyone concerned. It wasn't that he was given it when his Father expressed it to everyone in heaven. It was just he was acknowledging it, just to let everybody know that Jesus was God also. Okay? Now Lucifer thought that he was himself a favorite in heaven among the angels. He had been highly exalted, but this did not call forth from him gratitude and praise to his Creator. He aspired to the height of God himself. He gloried in his loftiness. He knew that he was honored by the angels. He had a special mission to execute. He had been near the great Creator, and the ceaseless beams of glorious light enshrouding the eternal God had shone especially upon him. He thought how angels had obeyed his command with pleasurable alacrity. And were not his garments light and beautiful? Why should Christ thus be honored before himself? Now he left the immediate presence of the Father dissatisfied and filled with envy against Jesus Christ. Now, concealing his real purposes, he assembled the angelic host. He introduced his subject, which was himself, as one aggrieved, and he related the preference that God had given Jesus to the neglect of himself. He told them that henceforth all the sweet liberty the angels had enjoyed was at an end. For had not a ruler been appointed over them, to whom they from henceforth must yield servile honor? He stated to them that he had called them together to assure them that he no longer would submit to this invasion of his rights and theirs, that never would he again bow down to Christ. Now let's read this again. That never would he again bow down to Christ. Okay? This is very, very poignant. He would never again bow down to Christ, meaning he would never again bow down to God. Okay? Because he thought he was equal to God. That he would take the honor upon himself which should have been conferred upon him, and would be the commander of all who would submit to follow him and obey his voice. Okay, does everybody get the picture? There was contention among the angels. Lucifer and his sympathizers were striving to reform the government of God. Okay? So does everybody understand? Lucifer had caused a division among the angels in heaven who didn't have a problem with following Christ until he, the leader of them, let them know that he was having a problem. Thus, his problem should be their problem. Thus, some of them sympathized with them and made his problem their problem. So let's see what is going on here. They were discontented and unhappy because they could not look into his, meaning Jesus's, or God's, unsearchable wisdom and ascertain his purposes in exalting his Son and endowing him with such unlimited power and command. They rebelled against the authority of the Son. Okay, so the word rebelled means conflict. All right, we all know what that means. Rebellion and conflict means trouble. Okay, let's see what happened. Angels that were loyal and true sought to reconcile this mighty, rebellious angel to the will of his Creator. Okay, everybody get that? We have the angels that are loyal trying to woo Lucifer back and let him know or remind him who he was and that there's a problem that he's created and he has to stop this crazy thinking, this crazy attitude, this crazy rebellion. Let's see what happened. Now they justified the act of God in conferring honor upon Christ, and with forcible reasonings thought to convince Lucifer that no less honor was now his than before the Father had proclaimed the honor which he had conferred upon his Son. Meaning nothing had changed. So why was he all in an uproar? What was the problem? The Father was just letting everybody know what they already knew, that Jesus was God. Nothing had changed, is what they were saying. They clearly set forth that Christ was the Son of God, existing with him before the angels were created. We'll be right back.